In the headlines, scores killed as Boko Haram ISWAP fighters clash in Borno. 30-year-old man rapes 2-year-old in Adamawa. FG set to release 4,068 inmates nationwide. Away from Nigeria, dozens killed as Israeli army continues pounding southern Gaza. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for joining. And now the news in full. Over 60 terrorists were killed in a renewed clash between extremist groups Boko Haram and the Islamic State for West African Province, ISWAP, in Borno State. The attack was said to be in retaliation for the massive killing of ISWAP fighters by the Baduma faction of Boko Haram, which had also seized most of their territories. A report by Zagazula Makama, a counter-insurgency expert and security analyst in the Lake Chad region, alleged that the fight broke out between the two groups on Tumbum Adi Island in Murti local government area of the state. It quoted intelligence sources as saying that 6 boats belonging to the Bakura Baduma faction and 4 Jazz element boats packed with fighters were destroyed. The sources also stated that the casualties on both sides could be more than 60 as the infighting continued. In a disturbing incident, a 30-year-old man has confessed to the heinous crime of sexually assaulting a 2-year-old girl in Adamawa State. The culprit, a resident of Aljannaru village in Sonk local government area, was apprehended by the Adamawa State Police Command following a tip-off. The suspect, in his confession, attributed his actions to the influence of alcohol. The suspect was allegedly caught in the act by a relative of the victim, who raised alarm leading to his eventual arrest by the police. The Commissioner of Police, Afolabi Babatola, has ordered the Criminal Investigation Department to investigate the matter and ensure the prosecution of the suspect. In the meantime, the police command in Enugu State has arrested 3 people suspected of sexually molesting a 3-year-old pupil in Enugu. The arrest is part of an ongoing investigation into the sexual molestation of the girl, who is a pupil of Fenderling School, Trans-Ekulu, Enugu. According to the spokesman of the command, DSP Daniel Doke, those arrested and facing interrogation included a teacher in the school and 2 others. The spokesman says preliminary investigation proves that the child was found to have been sexually molested after the school boss dropped her at home. This is in addition to the receipt of similar complaints by parents of other children in the school. 3 suspects comprising the victim's female teacher, the school's boss attendant, and driver had been arrested for interrogation. Doke said that the Commissioner of Police, Kanayo Ozubu, appreciated the Enugu State government's decision to shut down the school pending the conclusion of the investigation. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress APC in Taraba State has called for the complete cancellation of the ongoing local government elections in the state, alleging widespread irregularities and vote rigging by the ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP. APC State Chairman Barrister Chukur El Sudi made the call while addressing journalists in Jalingo, the state capital, on Saturday. El Sudi accused the PDP of using the electoral process to appoint their cronies into the local government councils rather than conducting a fair and credible election. He cited several instances of electoral malpractices, including the disappearance of result sheets, ballot papers being thumb-printed in the homes of PDP stalwarts, and the absence of electoral materials in many polling units. He lamented that despite the APC's readiness to participate in the polls, the PDP had subverted the process, depriving the people of their right to choose their representatives at the local government level. A city further accused Governor Darius Ishaku of complicity in the electoral malpractices, alleging that the governor is being influenced by some politicians in the state. APC chairman called on the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to take over the conduct of local government elections, stating that the current system has been compromised by the state governments. Now, the federal government has disclosed plans to release 4,068 inmates nationwide as part of measures to decongest the nation's correctional centers. Speaking at the flag-off ceremony in Abuja, the Minister of Interior, Olabunmi Tunji Ojo, said that the program is targeted at indigent inmates who cannot afford to pay their fines. He said the federal government has raised 585 million naira to be used for the payments of fines to secure the release of 4,068 inmates across the federation. According to the minister, the money was raised by corporate bodies and philanthropists for this purpose. The minister said the initiative was targeted at inmates with fines and compensation that do not exceed 1 million naira, stressing that the government's commitment to transform custodial and non-custodial facilities was initiated to align with international human rights standards and effective correctional practices, and was in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision. Commending the Nigerian Correctional Service for their dedication towards humane custody and national security, he said the Ministry of Interior will further collaborate with the Ministry of Justice to tackle the swelling number of awaiting trial inmates in various detention facilities in the country. In attendance at the meeting were ministers of justice and heads of anti-corruption agencies from all the countries within the economic community of West African states, ECOWAS. On his part, the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Haruna Baba, commended the minister for the initiative. In another development, the Lagos State government has commenced demolition of distressed buildings into Oyubo Ebotemeta area of Lagos State. The Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Oluyinka Olumide, who led the demolition exercise on Saturday, said occupants of the affected buildings were served notices but refused to vacate them. He said that the government is compelled to resort to the demolition of the structures to protect lives, as most of the structures failed integrity test. The commissioner therefore called on owners of distressed buildings to take the initiative of pulling down the structures. He urged them not to wait for the government to do so, as it will confiscate any land where it removed distressed structures. General Manager, Lagos State Building Control Agency, LAPSCA, architect Bolahan Oki, added that the demolition of distressed structures in the area has become a necessity, considering the danger that the buildings pose to other adjoining structures and the lives of residents. Oki also appealed to Lagosians to feel free to always inform the government about distressed buildings and other physical planning infractions noticed within their neighborhoods. Now, obtaining traditional bank loans necessitated bureaucratic procedures, but digital money lenders, on the other hand, provide instant and uncollateralized loans. Literacy investigations reveal how these digital lenders, also known as loan sharks, breach privacy laws and use rock recovery techniques to harass defaulters. Take a look.
The coming of digital money lenders redefined conventional banking and loaning methods. They offered easy and uncollateralized loans, but simultaneously, they came with a series of problems. The adoption of unconventional and illegal means of threats and harassment to torment clients into paying back loans with exorbitant interests has earned them the name loan sharks. Trust TV investigation reveals how the unethical conduct of some loan sharks are pushing low-income Nigerian lenders to the brink.
In fact, I was thinking about committing suicide, but I looked at my children. I said, if I kill myself, nobody is going to look at these children.
Mariam describes her experience with loan shark as instant hell.
This experience is terrible, I tell you. It's very terrible. In fact, it is an instant hell, and after that, now wahala.
Like Mariam, Rosalind Audu could not pay back her loan on the agreed date. She became entangled in a debt cycle where she robs Peter to pay Paul, a situation that almost claimed her life.
I entered into serious depression. I couldn't tell anybody. When it had hit more than 1 million, I was suicidal. I had sniper. I went to my bathroom. I wanted to drink sniper because of all the harassment. When I was having these thoughts, the order of the sniper became offensive to me. Then I went back to the room.
Rosalind noted that due to the exorbitant interest rates and service charge deducted from the loan amount, she has paid more than she borrowed.
of all the amount I collected from these people was less than 1 million, but I have ended up paying more than 3 million so far.
In 2022, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, delisted over 30 illegal loan apps. But the investigation revealed that some of these money lenders continue to operate in open sight. Some of the delisted apps such as Cash and Flypay have rerouted from Google Play Store to online websites hosting as Android packet kits, APK file formats. These allow them to offer loans freely to unsuspecting individuals, harass and breach users' privacy. This is a violation of Part 2 of the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation of 2019, which places duty of care on data subjects. But the spokesperson of Nigeria Data Protection Commission, Tinubu, failed to respond to the questions on such data breaches and possible action plans for violators. Flypay, one of the delisted apps, went further to impersonate the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Nigeria Immigration Service by sending threatening messages in form of arrest warrant and travel bans to their victims.
As a commission, we don't issue arrest warrant processing, loan application, and all of those things. Those no companies are talking about. We don't do that.
Also, the Nigerian Immigration Service, through its spokesperson, described the letter as a forged one and devoid of all the service's security features.
I want to say emphatically and categorically that this letter never emanated from the Nigerian Immigration Service. It is a forged letter.
Victim of loan sharks says Apex Lending, Cash, Flypay, Cash Loan and Credit Wallet are some of the notorious digital money lenders that have breached their privacies as well as harassed them. Trust TV reached out to these apps to get their reactions on the allegation, but only Credit Wallet responded. In their response, Martha Oluwe, the Assistant Customer Service Manager for Princeps Credit Systems Limited, the parent company of Credit Wallet, said they would only respond to the allegations when they receive official emails from the victims and the full details of the concerned customers are provided. By law, the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act mandates the Central Bank of Nigeria to license and regulate banks and the businesses of other financial institutions, including those solely operating online. The CBN has neglected this statutory responsibility by failing to license and regulate digital money lenders. Instead, the state money lenders license, in which this loan shark resort to, only authorize them to operate within the state it is being issued. Incidentally, they use a state license to operate nationally while they continue to harass lenders and breach privacy laws. The CBN, through its spokesperson, Isa Abdul Mumin, has ignored questions on why the CBN has derelicted its responsibilities. However, the senior management staff of the Apex Bank said none of these loan apps have approached them for licensing, and unlicensed loan apps are illegal financial entities. He added that the Apex Bank has repeatedly cautioned borrowers to avoid obtaining loans from them to avoid running into financial difficulties. But while these loan apps remain highly unregulated, low-income earners in Nigeria are hopeful that their illegal activities are checkmated by relevant authorities to promote healthy lending and repayment methods.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead, we will tell you the story of how sex workers risk their lives for money in Nigeria's capital. Details of that and more after the break. Please stay with us.
Trust TV. My name is Ahmed Mohammed Bello, and I'm going to be taking you through my journey as an artist.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV, and here is a recap of some of our top stories. Scores killed as Boko Haram ISWAP fighters clash in Borno. And 30-year-old man rapes 2-year-old in Adamawa. Now to other stories. Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima is advocating improved dialogue between unions in the academia and the government to address the endemic challenges undermining the development of the sector. The Vice President, who identified the funding gaps in education, noted that the private sector partnership will go a long way in bridging the gaps in funding for better service delivery. Kashim Shettima made the remarks while speaking at the 24th Combined Convocation Ceremony at the University of Maiduguri. Petrus Kurizi has more.
Nigeria's tertiary institutions have for long battled with arrested development leading to so many industrial actions. Vice President of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, said incessant strikes have been used as a confrontational tool to seek better welfare, becoming a setback for the Nigeria's education sector. He stressed that effective dialogue is the key to addressing all labor disputes.
It is no longer fashionable to insist on confrontation as a tool for demanding improved welfare conditions for your members. Incessant strikes are undoubtedly detrimental to the system. As such, the option for dialogue must remain paramount in resolving any industrial dispute. Let me reassure you of the federal government's resolve to always keep its doors open for constructive engagement with the unions. To the students of this great university in particular and all universities in general, I admonish you to keep away from all forms of social vices and malpractices.
As we celebrate the achievements of the past and current students, the Ondo State government under my leadership remains committed to support the University of Maiduguri in fostering an environment that nurtures not only academic excellence. The present level of support is inadequate. This has compelled the university to increase students' charges recently. As moderate as our charges are, they are providing too onerous for parents and students to bear. As I speak to you, many students are yet to pay the 60% for the first semester, not to talk of the 40% for the second semester. Except serious financial support is provided to tertiary institutions, future opportunities for youth education, especially in the Northeast region, is under serious threat.
The 24th Combined Convocation Ceremony of the University of Maiduguri witnessed the conferment of honors on postgraduate, higher degrees and additional honors. Senator Kashim Shettima was a recipient of honorary degree of Doctor of Science as the Shehu of Borno accepts the Doctor of Laws honors. The event was also used to draw attention to the challenges mitigating against the development of education in Nigeria. Petrus Kurizi, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
Now, amidst the crisis of unemployment and poverty in the country, with millions of Nigerians living below poverty line, some young women find a shady underworld of commercial sex business. In this special report, Trust TV's Mariam Ishaq exposes the harsh realities of a sex worker in Nigeria's capital, Abuja.
In the heart of Nigeria's capital city, Abuja, is a popular area in Garkitu known as Lagos Street. Popular for its pulsating nightlife, it attracts a number of people for varied reasons. But beyond the trade and leisure lays other vices perfectly masked in the darkness of night. The red light district is dotted with brothels and clubs, which serve as havens for both commercial sex workers and clients. Joy, not her real name, is a 32-year-old single mother of one. She has been in this business for 8 years, with little more than nerve-wracking experiences to tell for it. For other commercial sex workers also, this moral compromise comes with their consequences.
The man, he picked me from drumsticks and we are going towards, he told me that we are going to Guarimpa after we reach area 1. Then you now remove his gun. After we don't already do everything that we're supposed to do inside the car. So he can still revise the motor again to a pull and about. When we reach transformer, he now remove his pistol. He want to shoot me that she go out of his car. So I have nothing to do now. I have nobody to help me. Only God to help me. So I just dropped out of the car, and in the midnight, there was nobody there.
I have a friend who was into this same prostitution. She is in a terrible state now. When she started, she had everything going for her, but now she is in a pitiable condition. Before now, she has a car, but now she doesn't even have anyone to give her 500 naira. Some people visit to help her. She is suffering from different illnesses, ranging from HIV and paralysis. This is the result of prostitution.
Though these drops of tears could suggest regret, these women are nudged on by hard drugs and pimps. Aliyu, not his real name, is a pimp.
To be honest, it is not really much. Sometimes we make 2,000 naira or 2,000 naira, but if you are lucky, you could get 5,000 naira. There are some women that come to meet me while I meet others on the way through business because I like to wander. I visit places like Durumi, Wuse, Mabushi, Kabusa and other areas. I may see a lady and pimp her to any interested man, and they will ask me to take them to the location. We have access to 16, 17 to 18-year-old girls.
There are health hazards in sex trading.
First and foremost, we'll talk about the sexually transmitted diseases because of course, most of them will want to go with protection. They would like their partners to be capped up, they wear their condoms, or they could be on diaphragms themselves, but some of their patronizers might insist on having raw sex, and sometimes they even oblige to this, leading to a lot of sexually transmitted diseases, the HIV, the syphilis, the gonorrhea, chlamydial infection, so much of them.
Amidst Nigeria's reputation as a deeply religious nation, the prevalence of commercial sex practice in the country does not shift the grounds on what religion sees it to be.
It is sinful for one to engage in adultery. Adultery is haram. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Holy Quran, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا. Do not go near to adultery. This shows that adultery is haram. Whether one is doing it for the purpose of earning living or for the purpose of satisfying one's desire, it is still the same. It is haram. And taking it as a means of livelihood, it is very, very wrong for one to engage in commercial sex in order to earn his living through that means.
Christianity as a religion highly condemns the practice of commercial sex and all forms of filthiness. The Bible encourages all men to work with dignity and respect to earn a living rather than engages in commercial sex.
This social enigma called prostitution has robbed these girls of the contentment that comes from a legitimate pursuit of skill and career, offering a sad and consequent end.
And that was a special report by Mariam Ishaq on exposing the harsh realities of life of a sex worker in nation's capital. Now moving on, about 31 Palestinians have been killed in separate strike that took place at the Nusret refugee camp and another refugee camp, where 2 journalists are also among the victims. Dozens of people, including children, have been killed in Israeli air attacks on UN-run schools in northern Gaza. Witnesses have described being forced to leave Al-Shifa hospital despite Israel claiming patients, medical staff, and war-displaced people left voluntarily. At least 12,000 people have been killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7th. In Israel, the official death toll from Hamas attacks stands at about 1,200. Now on sports news, Novak Djokovic delivered a masterclass to beat Carlos Alcaraz in the latest installment of their burgeoning rivalry to reach the ATP Finals showpiece. The Serb will aim for a record 7th title on Sunday after a 63-62 win put him through to face Italian Jannik Sinner in Turin. Sinner became the first Italian to make the season-ending final with a 63-67, 46-61 win over Daniel Medvedev. In doubles, Britain's Joe Salisbury and American Rajiv Ram reached the final. The defending champions beat French-Mexican pair Edward Roger Veselin and Santiago Gonzalez 7-6, 7-5, 3-6, 10-7, and will face Argentina's Horacio Zabalos and Marcel Granollers of Spain for the title on Sunday. Still on sports news, Tiger Woods is set to return after 7 months out when he plays in the Hero World Challenge in the Bahamas. The 15-time major winner has not played competitively since withdrawing from the Masters in April, after which he had ankle surgery. The 47-year-old American is host of the Hero World Challenge at Albany, a 20-player invitational event that begins on November 30th, which will take the 20th and final playing place in the PGA Tour event. He is joined by exemptions Justin Rose and Lucas Glover, while the likes of Scottie Scheffler, Jordan Spieth, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Victor Hovland are also taking part, which withdrew in the third round of the Masters in April and had surgery later that month to treat arthritis linked to injuries suffered in the 2021 car crash that sidelined him for nearly 14 months. He has struggled to work courses for 4 rounds since the accident, but recently he carded for Son Charlie in a 54-hole tournament. He shares the record for a PGA Tour victories with Sam Snead at 82. And with that, we have come to the end of the Trust TV's news update. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentary. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.